I'm the Tez.
Welcome to the TezDown. Welcome.
I'm the Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the TezDown. Party time. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, research, education, and parody. Under this act, fair use is permitted use of copyrighted content that might otherwise infringe on the exclusive rights of copyright holders. The TezDown podcast is a platform for entertainment and education. Edutainment, a blend of education and entertainment, emphasizes content that informs while it entertains. The views expressed in this channel's commentary do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of the hosts, and may not always reflect complete or verified accuracy of information presented. All content, including commentary, analysis, and discussion, falls within the legal parameters of fair use. We make no claims to ownership of any third-party content. This is the TezDown. Sports unscripted, culture unfiltered. Thank you for understanding.
You don't want zero problems, big fella.
I'm only gonna do this once. Classic! Lord God, anything attached to me that could be holding me down and keeping me from my ascension.
Let's go. That's a W. That's E1.
That's E1. Detach that from me. So I can fly. They think ill about me, they still around me. Lord God, please set me free. I ain't going out like Gandhi, bet it won't be nobody next to me. Cause I'm watching the people I'm loving the closest way more than the people I don't. Cause the people that hurt me the most in this life be the people that's locked in my phone. They made a mistake, I gave them some grace. I make a mistake and they won't do the same. People be dishing out what they can't take and they take what they cannot give back to the game. I'm unforgiving cause I'm unforgetting. I harbor resentment, I know what you did me. I am not Jesus, it ain't no repentance when I'm on a mission and moving relentless. Been here before, I know the feeling. Think it's forever the end to be chillin'. Mike Jackson, my life is a thriller. Close to midnight, I turn to the villain. Boundaries over sparing your feelings. Sebastian gone, you can cry me a rib. To be great, you gon' have to be different. When you say it, they gotta know that you meant it. Long as your actions match your diction, people gon' know that you standing on business. A lot of experiences come with this wisdom. I'm only giving you what I've been living. Enlightened now, but still remember the time my mind was a prison. Enlightened now, but still remember the time I felt like a victim. I remember. Huh? Talk. Enlightened now, but still remember the time I felt like a victim. Classic. Yeah. Lord God, let me fly, huh? They think ill about me, they still around me. Lord God, please set me free. I ain't going out like Selena, bet it won't be nobody next to me. Cause I'm watching the people I'm loving the closest way more than the people I don't. Cause the people that hurt me the most in this life be the people that's locked in my phone. Come to people I'm already knowing. People fickle, coming and going. People different when weather is storm. Some people pull over when it start to pour.
Welcome to the TezDown. How's everybody doing today? Hey, it is a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Yes, I said a wonderful Tuesday. If you haven't had one yet, you're about to have one now. Today, we got some topics to talk about. What's going on? Hey, thank you, Rain. I appreciate it. We almost there. We grinding hard for it. Let's get it. Y'all help me get there. Come on, y'all. So y'all can get y'all True Crime Monday back. The streets heard you yesterday. You guys want your True Crime Monday back? That's how you do it. That is how you do it. Y'all get me the subs. You can have anything you want.
Shit, Negro. That's all you had to say.
I appreciate it. I really do. There's some crazy stuff going on in the United States, y'all, and we're going to talk about it. Number one today, we're going to talk about why people are leaving the United States, where they're going, how it looks while they're there, and if they should ever come back, or should we go too? The second thing that we're going to be looking at today is we're going to talk about President Trump. I know everybody hates when we talk about President Trump because they just assume that you're a Democrat or you're a Republican. Well, guess what? I got a treat for you guys. I'm neither. I don't care. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. Can't stand either side. They both suck. They really do. Robbing us blind. Which leads me to the third topic of the day, and that is, again, millennial angst. And we're going to finish up a story that we started yesterday by Brie. And we're going to listen to what Brie has to finish saying because she deserved to hear the rest of her story out yesterday. And you guys did say that you wanted me to keep going with it. So we're going to keep going with it. And then we're going to let the show morph into whatever the show morphs into, the way that we always do. If you are new here, please hit the like button and the subscribe. If you aren't new here, but you watch me every day, please hit the like button and the subscribe. And if you got some friends that you might would think I'm cool too, send them my scream because we are pushing towards this 500 on this brand new channel. And I'm going to take every milestone as the greatest victory that I've ever had. And if you know me, you know I've had some pretty great victories. So we are past 400 now. I'm going to give you guys a song for being past 400 because we are trying to move towards never having a boss again.
No more day job, I was tired of being a slave. Million one ways for a man to get paid. Rather work myself into my own damn grave than to get these blood suckers another damn day. Gotta find a way to make my own way. Trying to run my race with my own race. They say we come from monkeys, so when I die, split my money with my apes. When I die, split my money with my apes. We the taste makers, y'all ain't really got no taste. Pour some Bel Air, celebrate cause we great. And pour something out for my homies that ain't make it. When I die, split my money with my apes. Till then, I'ma have a baddie feed me grapes. Till then, I'ma switch the motto and the make.
I give y'all a little bit of something when y'all give me a little bit of something, so I appreciated that. That was called Ape Money. If you don't know it, hey, I'll tell you how to find it. It's B-Class Music at SoundCloud. He is helping power some of the songs in here as well as Joy and my mom and even Phil. Thank you guys for artists that you guys should all follow that contribute to the sounds of the show. The Ben podcast as well, Mikey Famine for making some of the music, especially the intro song. I appreciated that a lot. Ahmad Raza. Hi, bro. How are you? How are you doing, Ahmad? Nice to see you. Thank you for coming in here. So let's get started with our show today. Let's go ahead and give you guys a tagline for the beginning. It is Flee America. What? Leave? All right. Americans are leaving the United States, but why? And is it a good idea? That's the question. Why are Americans leaving? Is it a good idea? And where are they going? And here's the bigger question. What are they doing when they get there? Are they welcomed? Do they feel as if there's a learning curve on the language? I'm one to believe that Americans leaving might be one of the better things for us to do. Let me just make sure that I got this playing for you guys so you guys can see it. Everybody's excited for this, right? Find out why Americans are leaving, especially the millennials. It's going to be a millennial-centric episode. If you guys don't like millennials, well, you're probably old.
It is better for you to leave first and to set up a soft landing for your other immediate friends and
Shout
family.
out to Pakistan
I'm
International.
just going to say it because nobody else is saying it, even though we're all thinking it. The American dream is to leave America.
Nearly 9 million Americans have left the country. And if there were a new state called
So I already have to stop it early. Nearly 9 million American citizens have left America. We're in the United States. Chicago, baby. Chicago. I say it one more time for everybody. Chi-town, baby. Oh yeah. Anyway, I can never get enough of that. Anyway, 9 million Americans. There's only 5.5 million people in Norway. That means that more Americans have left the United States than the entire population of Norway. So that gives you guys an estimate of how many people 9 million people actually is.
Patland, it would probably be more populous than Vermont, Wyoming, and Alaska combined. After all, what made citizens of the world's richest nation, once hailed as the land of the American dream, choose to leave their own homeland? Let's look at the small details in life. A supermarket bill for almost $300 for just 1 week of groceries. A retired couple has to count every penny to pay for health insurance that costs as much as their rent. A family in Chicago is teaching their children how to duck when they hear gunshots, instead of how to cross the street. This is no one else's business. This is our story. And if nearly 9 million Americans have left, perhaps it's time to ask again. Is staying in America still the right choice? And are we the next ones to pack our bags? Let's start exploring. Going to the supermarket is so expensive now. Before, I used to fill the trunk with groceries, but now there's only enough room to put them on the passenger seat. I just saw 2 bottles of juice for $9. The price is ridiculous. It's no longer a secret. Many Americans are complaining about rising food prices. And it's not just a subjective feeling anymore. According to the latest Consumer Price Index, CPI, the cost of shopping at supermarkets has continued to rise to nearly 330 points. This is the largest increase since 2016. The American dream, which used to be a full dinner, has now become a joke on the bill. Bananas are 50 this year, compared to 38 last year. Coffee has increased by up to 40% in a year, and is now priced at $8.99. Ground beef is currently priced at $7.67, while a year ago it was only $6.77. Everything is so expensive that many Americans have to cut out a meal a day. It's no coincidence that 52% of Americans believe living abroad would be cheaper and of higher quality. They don't talk in theory. They looked at the wallet.
Yeah, I mean, people are doing the comparisons. There's people who live in these other countries that will tell you how much things cost. It's easy as going on the internet. You could even do a comparison of how much things are costing in different places right now in America. And you can find out where it easier it is to live. And if you decide that you're working, especially people who are working remote and aren't stuck in one place, you can live wherever you want and still do your job just fine. Especially if you never have to come in. All you need is a strong phone connection and the internet. There's plenty of places on planet Earth where you can do that at just fine and pay less money to live there. We're going to explore some of these options after we get done talking about this.
They compare. In Mexico or Costa Rica, a family can live comfortably on 50-60% of the cost compared to the US. For some ones a month, you can rent a...
Let me read this. In Mexico or Costa Rica, a family can live comfortably on 50 to 60% of the cost compared to the United States. 60% of the cost compared to the United States for $1,000, I think, a month. You can rent a bright apartment and eat at restaurants a few times a week. In the US, that same amount of money would barely cover your health insurance. I, for one, have been to both of these countries and in different places and on different sides of the countries. I've been there more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times in certain instances. And I'll tell you, in both Mexico and Costa Rica, $1,000 a month can take you a whole lot farther than $1,000 a month in the United States, especially living in one of the big cities or the suburban areas surrounding the cities. I would know, being that I have done both. I have friends who I communicate with on a daily basis who live in these countries, and they tell me how much things are costing and what they look for. And basically what they do is they outsource when they can't find something in their country. And I don't see anything wrong with outsourcing when you can't find things in your country either.
Bright apartment and eat at restaurants a few times a week. In the US, that same amount of money would barely cover your health insurance. A woman in shared, every time I go to the supermarket, it costs at least $300, and my energy bill has increased by 70%. I earn more money than before, but I have less left at the end of the month because all my expenses have increased. In Tampa, to live comfortably, you need to earn $111,000 a year, which is unimaginable for most of my friends. Many people, after trying, finally decided decisively, we're leaving. For family life, for the children, for safety and happiness. They prepared their immigration documents, researched thoroughly, and compared the cost of staying versus starting over elsewhere. A musician said, I used to play music 4 to 5 times a week, which was enough to live on and save. Now the income is higher, but it's still not enough to cover expenses. Inflation, housing prices, utilities, food, everything is suffocating. I don't see a future here anymore. What I find most paradoxical is that America always prides itself on being the world's #1 economy, yet ordinary workers feel like they're losing right on their home turf. When medical bills are higher than rent, when beef becomes a luxury, people start to look beyond borders. In the US, retirement in 2025 no longer means retiring, but seems to mean retiring from steak to oatmeal, a lifetime upgrade for a lifetime of dedication. In your opinion, is this just a temporary blip, or a sign that the American dream is cracking from within the kitchen?
It's a sign that the American dream is cracking from inside the kitchen. That's a fact. I don't think anybody can argue this.
What do you think, with the money you have now, would you choose a simple dinner in the US or a full seafood meal in Mexico? And remember, the cost is just the surface. There's another nightmare that makes many Americans want to leave, even before they reach retirement age. The United States spends more on healthcare than any other country on the planet. Over $2,500 per person per year, double the OECD average. At first glance, this sounds like a health paradise. But the irony is this: Americans are the people who are most afraid of going to the doctor. From 2000 to 2019, global healthcare spending reached $8.5 trillion, equivalent to nearly 10% of the world's GDP. But in the US alone, that number is even more staggering. 20% of GDP, meaning for every dollar spent, 20 cents goes to healthcare. Americans pay twice as much as people in other wealthy countries, but the results are not at all proportionate. Every time they go to the doctor, instead of asking, "Can my illness be cured?" Americans ask, "Can I afford this bill?" For an emergency visit that only requires a light bandage, the bill can be $3,000 and $5,000 if insurance doesn't cover it. Entering the hospital is like entering a casino. You don't know what you'll come out with, your health, or a bill that's half the price of a car. Not stopping there, many people are frustrated by the way the American healthcare system is operating. Some people even quipped, going to the hospital in the US is like stepping into a casino. You don't know what you'll come out with, your health or a bill.
You see this? That dude, 1666, said, our healthcare system is like going to a Las Vegas casino. You are given a price for a room, but when you arrive for your check-in, the price has gone up because of all the fees. Resort fees, credit card transaction fee, etc., lobby maintenance fee, big crow cleaning fee. Like, I'm going to tell you straight up, every time that I go to somewhere in the United States, I check for all the little hidden fees because I know that I'm going to have a bunch of little hidden fees. I don't get that everywhere else. I do get that in resorts outside the country because I know that Americans are coming, and that's standard American practice. There's got to be Americans with their hands in the cookie jar somewhere. There always is in these situations. You're going to get American practices from Americans. So you ask, again, if all of this is the case and other countries are getting these things for free, why can't the country that makes the most money, supposedly the United States, give them to the United States for free? Despite the fact that they're spending $2 billion a day on a war, it have been for the majority of my adult life, actually for the majority of my life in general. Let me think about this for a second. We've had Desert Storm, Desert Fox, Operation Freedom, Operation Fury, the Afghan War, and the war in Iraq, and the war on terrorism. There's a whole bunch of wars. Just saying. That's where the money is going. The Pentagon continually loses trillions of dollars, and it's unaccounted for every time they do an audit, and there are no consequences and no repercussions for it. They just, we don't have it. It's gone somewhere. Okay, same things with weapons, right? The weapons that you lost.
Worth half a car. It's no surprise that over 650,000 Americans admit they want to move abroad to receive better social security benefits. They weren't looking for beautiful beaches, but for cheap hospitals. In Canada, Spain, or Thailand, they know that just by showing their ID card, not a credit card, they will be treated. Many people are realizing that the healthcare system in the US no longer seems designed to cure illness, but rather to generate more profit. Doctor, hospital, insurance. It all revolves around the question, who will pay, rather than how the patient will recover. One person commented frankly, in America, everything has to turn a profit. Every step adds money. Healthcare shouldn't be a way to generate massive profits. But in America, we're all walking dollar signs. A man in Texas recounted, in America, I had excruciating stomach pain and immediately thought, do I have enough money to go to the hospital? Meanwhile, in Costa Rica, I just thought, will I get better? See? In America, physical pain is sometimes less significant than the worry about hospital bills.
I'll tell you firsthand experience. We had a quarterback go down sick while he was in Costa Rica. They didn't ask any questions. They just took him to the hospital and took care of him. Saved his life. We were in the middle of a jungle, and he got sick, like to the point of where like his fever was insane, like it was over 100. His body was convulsing. He was locking up. Got some type of a poisoning while he was there. You know, not speculating on anything else, but he got some type of a poisoning while he was in Costa Rica, and they came out to the jungle to get him. Literally, you guys can literally see videos of me walking around in the jungle in Costa Rica. I'll tell you exactly where it was. It was right here. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys exactly where it was. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Let me make sure there's no sound from this. Right here is where this happened at. Right on the other side of this bridge behind me, actually, as I'm walking through the jungle on both sides. There's like those are crocodiles down there. They really are. But that's where it happened at. And I'm gonna tell you, they came real quick. They came real fast. They got him. They saved his life. He's still playing football to this day. So I'm not saying Costa Rica is a quote unquote better country, but I am saying they have a lot of things figured out about living.
A figure that startled me. 51% delayed or skipped treatment due to cost. For households with an income below $40,000 per year, this rate rises to 63%. That means they accept sacrificing their health to have enough money to live on. Ironically, healthcare, which should be a basic human right. But in the US, it's become a brutal trade-off between health and pocketbook. Will this system ever truly heal instead of just inflicting more wounds? The question for you is, if you spend your whole life working and paying taxes, but when you get sick, you have to count every penny like a gambler at a roulette table, do you think staying in America is still worth it? We have seen that money and health have stifled the American dream, but this is only one piece of the puzzle. Because even if you have enough money, there's something else that makes many Americans decide to leave. The feeling of safety right here on this land. In many countries, the common fear of people when they go out is rising gas prices or traffic jams.
It's not even just the rising fear of gas prices. That's not a fear anymore. We have rising gas prices in this country right now. We literally have rising gas prices in this country right now. Gas is like over $4.40 right now in the Illinois area. Like, come on, man. Like, and I know it's worse in places like California. It always is. So I know it's worse there. Probably expensive in Vegas as well right now. You know, it's starting to get ridiculous, guys. When are we going to sit down and be like, hey, the reason people are leaving the United States is because nobody can afford to live here working regularly without working forever. Let the people that have the money stay. Fine. Y'all got all the money, y'all stay here. But the rest of us want to have a good life too without working for you or killing ourselves to do so.
However, in America now, the familiar worry that many people carry in their hearts, whether their children will come home safely after school. According to the 2024 Global Peace Index, North America is the region with the sharpest decline in safety levels. And we all know the reason. There are more guns and bullets than people. Violent crime, social conflict. All of this sometimes makes the land of the free seem more like the land of the fearful. And perhaps the cold numbers don't tell the whole story. But imagine, you're in Chicago or Houston, and every morning you tell your child that if they hear gunshots, they should duck under the table, instead of remembering to look for red lights when crossing the street. Meanwhile, an American family who moved to Lisbon shared, "Here, I don't have to teach my children how to hide when they hear strange noises. I just taught it how to cross the street." The same worry about being a parent, but in completely different contexts. Now, Americans are leaving not just for money, but because they feel abandoned in their own homes. They see security as becoming a personal responsibility rather than a system. You have to buy and find ways to protect your home yourself. Buy cameras yourself. Choose safer schools yourself. In fact, many people believe they must leave the US to find peace. Reality shows that there are increasingly large American communities in Europe and Asia. In Hong Kong, despite political instability, 20% of Americans there have left in 2 years. But
Well, people are leaving for Hong Kong, Thailand, and Asian countries because Asian countries are pretty forward thinking these days, especially when it comes to living and technology. They want people to have a higher quality of life. They want you to be comfortable. They want life to be a lot easier than just, working all day, having blisters on your fingers and feet, and then coming home and being upset and sad. They don't want that anymore. Especially a country like Japan, where the unaliving rates, self-deletion rates were pretty high. They want to bring that down because that's not sustainable as an economy. It's not sustainable as a nation to continue losing all your people because I don't know, they don't want to be there anymore, and they see no hope in being there. And I'm telling you, the American hopelessness has risen a lot over the last few years.
many others still choose to stay because they feel safer there than in some cities in the US. It sounds paradoxical, but it's the real choice of thousands of families. Some parents even recite, "Home of the brave," as long as you're brave enough to send your child to school every morning, like a mantra. That's a truth many parents live with, but rarely put into words. And the question for us is, if a country cannot make its citizens feel safe, even in their homes and schools, then what is the point of money, jobs, or flowery slogans?
Because money isn't real. Nobody wants to work a job. And the slogans are so played out that we're tired of the propaganda and people trying to sell us their crap when we don't even have the money to buy it.
Safety is the most basic need. When that foundation is shaken, everything else, dreams, freedom, opportunities, is just ink on an advertisement. But that's not all. Because there's another deeper reason why thousands of Americans not only want to live elsewhere, but even want to escape the control of their own homeland. Taxes and administrative procedures that bind citizens for life. Did you know, as a US citizen, you have to file global taxes,
Yes.
even if you're sipping cocktails in Bali or have lived in Switzerland for 20 years without setting foot in the US once?
Yes.
That's right. You can leave America, but America will never leave you. It all started with FATCA, the Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act of 2010.
Remember that. The Foreign Account Compliance Tax of 2010. 2010. Who was the president in 2010? Does anyone know? I'm not going to tell you.
Just hearing the name sounds complicated, but the meaning is simple. Any American citizen, no matter where they live, still has to file taxes with Uncle.
The funniest part about it wasn't the president. It was Congress. Y'all know who was in charge of Congress, right? Okay, just saying.
Sam. Banks around the world are also forced to report your accounts to the IRS. In other words, a US passport is not just a golden ticket for travel, but also a financial chain. What are the consequences? Each year, approximately 5,000 people officially renounce their US citizenship. In 2020 alone, this figure nearly reached 6,000, a record. This is called the expatriation list, a public table in the Federal Register where the names of those who dare to say goodbye to America are printed bluntly like a manifesto. The story sounds
What's
far
up,
away,
Roxy? How you doing?
but in
Roxy in the
reality,
building, y'all.
it's very close. A technology engineer in Switzerland once said he had to hire a private tax lawyer at a cost of $10,000 per year just to handle IRS paperwork, even though all of his income was earned outside the US. Finally, he sighed, "I love America, but I can't love the IRS," a saying that is both humorous and heartbreaking. The truth is, Americans don't hate paying taxes. They hate the feeling of being treated like lifelong suspects. They feel they have to prove their innocence to the government every year, that those bank accounts, salaries, and savings are not fraudulent activities. When you live abroad but are still so bound, the feeling is, "I've left. Why are they still clinging to me?" Ironically, in the US, Uncle Sam not only wants you to work yourself to death, but also wants you to file taxes, even if you die in another country. For many, a US passport is increasingly like a crown of thorns, glamorous to display, but heavy to wear. So, more and more people are choosing the extreme but liberating path, renouncing their citizenship. It's not because they hate America, but because they want to live like normal human beings.
Again, this part right here is the part that really starts to pull at the heartstrings here. The people that are leaving America do not hate America. They don't. The people who are leaving America, they want to have regular lives. They want to have good lives. They want to have fun. They want their kids to grow up happy. They want their kids to grow up with healthcare, and they don't want to pay $45,000 to have a baby. They don't. And I don't blame them.
not as IRS mobile taxable assets. If you work your whole life, you have to pay taxes, of course. But even after you leave, you still have to work hard on endless paperwork and obligations. Do you feel truly free? But this isn't the final reason. Because alongside the tax burden, a new trend is exploding, and it's making the dream of leaving easier than ever: remote work and digital nomad visas. You can sit in a Lisbon seaside cafe, listen to the waves crashing, sip espresso, but your bank account will still be dinging with your salary from a company in New York. That's no longer a pipe dream. It's becoming the choice of millions of Americans. According to the 2025 NBER study, 25% of paid workdays in the US are still remote. This number is no longer booming like during the pandemic, but it has stabilized as a new standard of living. This means that for every 4 days of work, 1 day, Americans work outside the office. And with the internet, that day could be in Texas or in Thailand.
Yep.
This aligns with a global trend. Over 40 countries have opened digital nomad visas, special permits that allow workers to live in their country, but work for a company elsewhere. Here's another piece of data. 17% of Americans say they want to go abroad in the next 5 years. Put all the pieces together, and you'll see an irreversible trend. Migration is no longer just for the wealthy or retirees, but for ordinary office workers as well. Americans have realized they don't need to leave their jobs to leave America. Previously, migration meant sacrificing one's career. Now, with just a laptop and Wi-Fi, you can work abroad even while sitting on your sofa in Mexico. While coding, you can save half the cost of health insurance. A 50-year-old programmer in Florida did just that. Moved to Oaxaca, Mexico.
Hey,
the rent here is only half the cost of my old health insurance. So, who would be crazy?
Hey, we've had a game in Oaxaca. I'm just saying, we've had a game in Oaxaca. Oaxaca. Okay, we've had a game in Oaxaca. We have, and it was great. That's all I got to say about that.
If they didn't do that. The American dream is no longer on Main Street. It drifted to Da Nang, Barcelona, and Oaxaca. Americans find the American dream when they leave America. And this also explains why nearly 9 million Americans left. It's not just an escape from costs, healthcare, or safety. It's also an upgrade, leveraging technology and globalization to live better with the same work. Here's a question for you. If you could live in a safer, more affordable country while still earning your regular US salary, would you choose to stay or go? But this isn't the final stop, because there's an even more extreme option, when just leaving isn't enough. Many Americans have chosen to completely renounce their American citizenship. Imagine you're willing to stand in line, not to apply for a visa, not to gain new citizenship, but to renounce the citizenship of the country you were born in. Sounds like a nightmare. And yet, thousands of Americans did just that. According to a list published in the Federal Register, nearly 4,800 people officially renounced their US citizenship in 2024 alone. That number.
Now, that's more than just the 9 million that have moved. That's way more than the 9 million that has moved. We're talking about 4,000 plus renouncing. 4,000 plus, that's giving up your U.S. citizenship at all. You have no plans on ever coming back.
Number isn't large compared to a population of 330 million, but think about it. These are people who signed a paper telling the government directly, "I'd rather lose my American passport than keep it." Why did it come to that? It's not because they don't love America anymore. On the contrary, most of them are people who were once attached and proud. But it's the invisible things, burdensome taxes, complicated banking procedures, complex paperwork, that turn a US passport from a golden ticket into a straitjacket. No matter where they went or what they did, they were treated as suspects who had to explain themselves. Many international banks are outright refusing to open accounts for US citizens, fearing trouble with the IRS. A Singaporean businessman once said, "I renounce my American citizenship, not because I hate America, but because America doesn't give me the freedom to work like a normal person." That's the hidden insight. Americans don't leave because they lack patriotism. They leave because they feel trapped even when living on the other side of the world. America considers itself a symbol of freedom. But in the eyes of many citizens abroad, true freedom only begins when they return their American passports. In other words, for them, the American dream only returns when they are officially no longer American. Doesn't that sound bitter? A nation once admired by the world for its opportunities is now witnessing its own citizens seeking their final escape by abandoning their identities. And here's the big question for all of us. When the loyal, the successful, those who have the means to choose, also decide to leave, who will keep the American dream alive? The American dream. In the past, it was the suburban home, the car in the driveway, a full dinner, and a sense of peace. But today, for millions of Americans, that dream is shrinking into an empty grocery bill, a bottle of medicine that costs as much as rent, and fear that echoes right outside the schoolhouse door. Nearly 9 million American citizens have left. They're not just looking for cheaper costs or more comfortable healthcare. They are seeking what should have been readily available in their own homeland. Safety, respect.
We should have gotten all this stuff already, and that's why people are leaving. They're not leaving because they hate America. They're leaving because America is declining.
And an opportunity for a decent life. Is this just a temporary wave of migration or a sign that America is losing its very soul? What do you think? If you had the opportunity, would you stay, or would you seek a different life beyond the borders? Please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear.
I really want to know too, what would you guys do if you had a chance to leave the United States? Would you leave? If you knew that where you were going was going to be just as beautiful or more beautiful, more cost effective, you'd have a higher quality of life, you'd eat better food that was less processed or non-processed at all, I think you would leave. Especially if you know that like there's not much here for you. All that stuff about the dating pool having pee in it and all that stuff, that all comes from this. The economy and the society that we live in today shapes how we view our culture and society around us. Our interaction with other people is being shaped by all of this. People aren't getting along. People aren't happy. People aren't having fun anymore. It is because all they do is work. I'm somebody that works nonstop. As you guys can see, I work, I go here, I go here, I go there. I'm training, I'm playing sports, I'm back to training, I'm filming my shows, talking to you guys all the time. I'm posting shorts. I'm getting all this stuff done and still being a dad. When I'm telling you, it's nonstop total action all the time. And not the other nonstop total action all the time. People sometimes just want to chill and live a life that isn't involved with just paying bills. Every dollar that comes into our pockets gets to go into somebody else's for free based on residuals. Never really owning stuff. Nobody wants that. All the taxes and the interest that we pay on all of our items just to have them. Come on, man. You should not be paying for anything for 30 years. You really shouldn't. That should be illegal in itself. Why are you paying for something for 30 years? Think about that. That doesn't even make sense. But here we are, normalizing it, talking about it, even bragging about it in some places. I got so much money to pay all these bills. How much money do you have to take care of this, though? I don't know about all that. That's what happens all the time, everybody. I see it every day on this internet. I for one, if I had the opportunity to move and live in Costa Rica, I would do it. If I had the opportunity to move to live in like a Thailand or Japan or China, I would probably do it. Probably would. Greece, free places, like I probably would. Just keeping it 100. Doesn't mean I hate America. I don't. I love this country. I just don't love what's happening in this country. If that makes sense to some of you. We're gonna talk and see a guy who
it feels like a penthouse. Yeah. So it was an older building, but the landlord was willing to renovate it. Mm-hmm. So what do you do for work?
So many people are saying, "Oh, you want to go over there and live in poverty, and it's a mess over there, and it's ugly. It's a third world country." It's not a thing anymore. Number one. Number two, none of that is true, and we're gonna see just from a person who is retired and lives just fine. This is where he lives. It's not a hotel.
I'm a disabled veteran. When I moved here, I was actually pretty shocked because a lot of people assume that places like this are third world countries, but it's actually very well developed. Think about the lifestyle that you want to live. So if I'm going to be home, I want to enjoy the space that I'm in, and I just want more space.
What's up, guys? My name is Sam. I'm in Bangkok, currently on Sukhumvit 13, which is a pretty popular soi here in central Bangkok, right in between ETS and Sukhumvit. And down here you'll find pool bars, restaurants, pubs, clubs even. and it's a very lively, busy, popping area. But we're not here for the nightlife. We're here for a condo tour today. So let's go meet who's going to give us a tour of our condo today. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Can you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, my name's Terrence Little. I'm a veteran from the United States, and I've been living here exactly 5 months.
Awesome. And what part of America?
South Carolina. That's where I moved from.
All right, awesome. How long have you been living in this condo?
4.5. I stayed in the hotel for about 2 weeks until it was ready, and I moved in here afterwards.
4.5 months?
Yeah, 4.5 months, yeah.
And what's the name of this condo?
The Trinity Condominium.
On Sukhumvit 13?
Sukhumvit 13. Sukhumvit 13, Soy 10.
How long have you been in Thailand in total? Like, just longer than about 5 months?
Yeah, just a little over 5 months. Maybe like 5 months and a week.
And what do you think about Thailand so far?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Soft rain. I mean, I would. And I wouldn't look at you as if anything was wrong with you if you did decide to move over abroad. I mean, look at how nice it is. This is Bangkok, Thailand. This is not even China. This is not even Japan. This is Bangkok, Thailand. I figured out what you meant. This is Bangkok, Thailand. Like, look how nice it is.
See, I'm always curious when people come here. Like, what's the plan? Like, you travel here, or you just come straight out here?
Look at the smile on his face.
I literally had never been to Asia before ever, and I traveled here.
That's brave.
I literally just picked up and moved here.
See, I don't think I could do that. Like, for me, I came to Thailand 3 times, maybe 4 times before I actually settled there.
Yeah.
But on the first trip, I knew I was going to move here.
Yeah.
But it took me like a while to adjust. But like coming straight out here, like
I'm normally like. I normally like to control like my environment and things that I do. This is probably the first thing that I've ever done where I had a base plan. Obviously, like I know like, okay, I'm gonna live abroad. I need to be prepared for that. But as far as like research, I researched obviously, but I'd never been here and I was like, I'm just gonna travel. So I actually surprised myself a lot too.
Has it met your expectations or exceeded them or?
Exceeded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what did you expect when you came to Thailand?
To be honest with you, I didn't know a lot about Thailand at all until the Hangover movie.
I didn't do anything.
A lot of people recognize Thailand from the Hangover movie. And my expectations were like, well, I'm going to be living in Asia. Then I was like, oh, it's Southeast Asia. I was like, oh, okay. And obviously, I've known about Vietnam because, like, you know, world history, Philippines.
Yeah.
I never really had a thought about Thailand. And when I moved here, I was actually like pretty shocked because a lot of people assume that places like this are third world countries, but it's actually very well developed. You know, the infrastructure is really great. And also, it is like Western world friendly in a lot of ways.
Especially Bangkok.
Yeah,
it's convenient. You know, you can order food anytime.
Yeah.
You've got incredible condos.
See, there's an operational term there that I want people to remember. I'm going to put it in the chat. Western world friendly. Western world friendly. What this means is that if you go to a country, the you getting used to being there is not going to be as difficult because it's set up in a Western style. They saw what worked in the Western world, they took it and they used it. And in some places, they made it better. I would say Japan has made it better. I would say that Hong Kong looks as if it has made it better. You know, and that's not propaganda. That's just the truth. So yeah, let's move on with these guys.
Yeah.
You can network with awesome people, entrepreneurs, nomads. So yeah, I feel like Bangkok ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Which is why myself and obviously you as well. Like,
let's look at how his house looks. Let's go.
I'm excited to see. Wow. Oh wow, look at that view. That's crazy.
Sunrise and sunset look good.
Imagine. So sunset's right
$1,200 a month, y'all.
Right over here.
You got 2 floors?
Got 2 floors, duplex.
Damn. This is like a penthouse essentially.
Yeah, it's like, I believe one of the descriptions actually say penthouse. The description on Fastball says penthouse. On Marketplace, it just says 2-bedroom condo.
Okay. It feels like a penthouse.
Yeah.
So what have you got here? You got kitchen table.
Kitchen table. These appliances are actually new. So one thing I have learned about moving into older builds, your landlords will upgrade. This is new. The washer and dryer combo. These appliances.
Oh. So you mean to tell me that you move into a place and your landlord is supposed to upgrade it? Right? Not just sell it as is, get you all new appliances and make it to where it's more modern? That's what they're supposed to do, right? Okay, just making sure. Because I know just the other day we went through some stuff that wasn't updated at all, but the price just kept going up. This is a penthouse in downtown Bangkok for $1,200 a month.
These are new. All this is new.
Yeah.
Reinstalled. I noticed that.
So it's an older building, but the landlord was willing to renovate it because you moved in.
I think because obviously, like, you know, they're selling it, so they're probably trying to think like, okay, to make this place more appealing, I don't want to give them old appliances. Let me give them brand new appliances.
Yeah.
So that's one thing he told me when we first had our discussion about the place.
And you cook or order food or eat out?
Cook.
What do you
balance of both, but I cook mostly.
Like healthy food?
Yeah, chicken breast, fish.
There we go.
Oh, that's tequila. Can't eat that. But chicken breast, fish, and I actually order all my beef from Bangkok. I go to them a lot.
Pretty cheap?
Yeah, It's actually inexpensive. I mostly get hanger steak though.
How much is it?
Hanger steak for about 1 kilogram, about 2.2 pounds. So that usually runs me about $425.
Wow. Yeah, decent.
2.2 pounds of hanger steak. So I usually get about 2 or 3 of those. And it'll last me the whole month.
Nice. Amazing. Yeah, you got a nice little setup.
Yeah.
So this is like the dining table.
Yeah. I actually got this.
Where'd you get that?
I got this at a thrift shop when I was 21 years old.
No way.
I actually have a picture of me wearing this at 21 years old in the gym.
Were you the same size then?
No, I was actually smaller.
Okay.
It's like hard to put on now, but back then it was a lot easier to put on.
So you kept that. Wow.
Yeah.
You've got a huge balcony. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's massive. Should we take a look outside?
Yeah, we should.
Yeah, I guess this would be cool if you have friends over, or
yeah,
you could probably do something with this balcony.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting a smoker on here. Start smoking some meats. I mean, I got to check to see if I'm allowed to do that first, and also maybe like an ice tub or something like that.
Yeah, great idea. Well, my tip would be, create a good relationship with your landlords to the point where you can't really refuse.
Beautiful view.
Invite them over to have some.
This same view in downtown Chicago probably costs you around $3,000 to $4,000 a month, at least.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be smart.
So this road is, you can't really see it down here, Succinville 13.
Yeah, it's the main road.
Yeah, and then just over here, Succinville 11.
You can actually take a shortcut right through here, and you cut like that. Because this is a whole shopping center under here. You'll see. You cut right here, you're right on Soy 11. You're right by all the major spots.
Where's your favorite place to go in this area?
Honestly, the coffee shop and breakfast store.
Amazing.
I actually go to the coffee shop when I want to leave my place and be productive. For some reason, I can't be really productive at home, even though I'm not doing anything. And breakfast store, like the roasted potatoes and pancakes.
Yeah,
got me in the headlock.
There we go. I'm really surprised at how big this place is.
Yeah.
Because I think it's hard, especially in central Bangkok, to find a place that's this big for a good price. It's great. How many ACs have you got?
So it's actually 3 AC units.
And how many bathrooms?
2 bathrooms.
2 bathrooms. And 2 floors.
2 floors, yeah.
Wow, pretty big. Oh, and this closes?
Yeah, this turns into another room.
So you said it was 2-bedroom, but they converted it.
Yeah.
Soft Rain says, what makes the cost of living so much less outside the U.S.? Well, the U.S. is full of greed, Soft Rain. That's really what it is. There's one answer: greed. That's it. There's only one answer for this: greed. The cost of goods shouldn't be more here. The cost of supply shouldn't be more here, because the prices should never go up because the supply is there. So it used to be that inflation was caused by a low supply and a high demand. Now inflation is just caused on purpose. The supply is there. There is no demand. The prices should go down. But instead, they create fake, numbers to make the prices go up, and they do, because they have to be fake. They have to be. There's plenty of everything. There's so much of it that people are throwing it in the garbage. Every grocery store throws away food. Every single one of them. I'm just letting you guys know.
Yeah, it was advertised as a 2-bedroom. So this is actually a pull-out couch. But obviously, if you wanted to, you could probably actually get a bed down here. This would be this entire different room, because the bathroom is like a full bathroom too. So
yeah,
you technically can have another room here.
It's nice, really, really nice. And this was the first condo that you looked at.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I looked at a bunch of them.
Yeah, exactly. See, it wasn't even difficult to choose a place to live because of what he realized in the United States, living in South Carolina. You move over here and you think, oh man, I'm living in a lap of luxury. Look how healthy he looks.
Got a virtual condo tour, and actually, funny story, I had a friend, and they walked through here for me with the agent to make sure it was real.
Nice.
And
that's a good idea.
Yeah, I just kind of said, you know what, I'm just gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I'm not surprised. This is the downstairs bathroom. Nice. Pretty spacious. Got a lot of room to put stuff on there.
The downstairs shower is actually bigger than the upstairs shower.
You got a shower?
Yeah, it's a full shower.
Oh wow, I didn't see that. Oh yeah. Oh, that's huge.
And he's got 2 showers. Okay.
And this one?
I have like a storage closet. Yeah.
Is it pretty big?
Decent sized space.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's good. Always good to have that.
Yeah.
So then if you just chuck anything in there.
Yeah, I pretty much done that. I've chucked a lot of stuff in there.
What about visa? What visa did you come on and stay on?
DTV.
DTV. So that's for 5 years, but you have to renew it every 6 months.
Every 6 months, yeah.
And how much was it for the 5 years?
I think you have to have 1,500 USD, which is like 500,000 baht.
Yeah, in the bank.
In the bank, yeah.
But you don't have to
$1,500
to use it. You just have to show you got it.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's like one of those things where Thailand's a really great place, but one thing you will find is when it comes to information like that, things are kind of evolving. You know, sometimes. So a lot of people didn't actually know you had to have the 15K still in the bank when you go to do your 6 months. Some people wasn't affected by it, because I guess when you go to every Thai agency in different places, like Southeast Asia, say if you go to one in Vietnam or one in Myanmar or Philippines, they all have the fundamentally same requirements, but they vary differently how they actually implement things.
Exactly.
So you will go to one and someone's like, oh, that's not true. Actually, it was cool. They just looked at my thing and popped it. And you talk to somebody else. They're like, yeah, I might get deported because I don't have 15K thing anymore. So it's important to stay up on the latest information about.
Yeah, it always changes in Thailand.
Yeah.
Every month, every couple of months, it's changing.
Like I changed my clothes.
So 5 years. Like, do you plan to stay in Thailand long term, or you think?
McKinnon said, I was going to leave until I realized our 18-year-old son couldn't inherently come with us. He'd have to handle his own immigration, and he doesn't have factors that would allow him to immigrate. It's dumb. See, that's the part that I didn't really know. I didn't know that. Tell us more, McKinnon. Your kid, because their kid would be an adult, technically, he would have to do it himself, I'm guessing.
Maybe you want to explore somewhere else in the future.
So honestly, I think more of like when I leave and go places, like I went to Turkey, I went to Paris. I knew that Thailand was home, and I was like, I want to go back home. And for some reason, I feel like when I'm going back to the States, I feel like I'm on a vacation versus I'm going back home to the States.
Yeah, exactly how I feel in England. Yeah, it's home, but it's like home away from home.
Oh yeah.
And you come back to Bangkok, and is that like relief?
Yeah, because it's grew me a lot, and I actually can see myself living abroad with Thailand being like my home base.
Yeah.
And traveling places, I could definitely see myself like being here long term.
Good to hear that. Should we have a look upstairs?
Yeah, let's go upstairs.
Yeah, I'll follow you.
I want to see upstairs too.
Replace.
Nice. Downstairs is nice.
I had some friends over, and we had a little bit too much fun, and it came off the wall.
Damage the wall?
Nah, just a big hole in the wall.
Okay. Well, there's a second bathroom.
Second bathroom, yeah.
Similar style, nice. Yeah, it's good.
Full shower.
Huge wardrobe. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Got a few goodies in here.
Nice.
Where do you buy clothes from?
So I brought a lot of clothes with me. Initially, before I got here, I asked in a lot of groups, I asked people, what would you recommend? They were like, shorts and t-shirt, man, you don't need nothing.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm gonna be doing a lot of different things, so I bought all my clothes.
Yeah.
But mainly here, H&M is the only place that has clothes that can fit me.
H&M.
And Shein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your bedroom is pretty spacious, I must say.
Big bedroom.
Yeah. A lot of room. TV,
Nice
desk
bed.
if you need it.
Yeah.
Gaming chair?
I think my landlord mainly used this place, one of his places. He used this as like, I'm gonna stop here every now and then, so he can probably have access to like Soy 11.
Yeah.
So he didn't really access this place like that, you know?
Right.
So when I first moved in, there was a desk up here, a working desk, computer desk, and then this chair.
Okay.
But I've taken that down, but I'll probably rearrange the room and bring it back up maybe.
So you spend a lot of time in this condo?
Yeah.
He kept the gaming chair.
Yeah. Okay, so what's it like living in a place like this?
It's really nice. I don't want to cook. I don't actually have to use Grab and go far to get food. A lot of the bars, obviously, they offer bar food, but they also offer a lot of Thai dishes too.
Yeah.
So chicken and rice. I think it's called krapatao.
Pad krapao.
Yeah, you guys can finish up with him if you want to. This video is called Sam Tyler, retired veteran, leaves South Carolina for Thailand inside of his $1,200 a month condo, 2-bedroom condo. It's very nice there, guys. And I gotta say, the way he living makes me wonder, where can I go? McKinnon said most countries just don't let you immigrate. We wanted Ireland, and because I would move my business there, it would take 4 months. But if you don't have something to offer, they really don't let you in. If you don't have a business, you have to be in the field they want badly, doctors, government, etc., or super rich. I think that is the truth. I've seen that with a lot of different countries, but Latin countries don't really have that problem. Most of them don't. They don't really require too much for you to move there or move back from there. I do know a lot of the other Western countries, they definitely require you to do some work with visas and other stuff like that, be in school if you're not in school, have degrees. They do have a lot of that, but there's always places to go. You know what I mean? Vietnam, different places that are building now, and they want people to help build. You have to have some skills, which obviously a lot of us do, being in the workforce for as long as we have been. But that is all for now for leaving America. We have a hot button issue that has come up today in the society, and a lot of people will be leaving America because of this. I believe the president has signed a executive order banning birthright citizenship in the United States. And it is going on right now. The Supreme Court is debating upon this, I guess, deliberating or whatever on this. And we're going to take a look at that in a minute. About what's happening today and how weird this whole thing is.
morning, we are awaiting a decision from the Supreme Court that could impact thousands of young children across the state. The High Court is weighing whether President Donald Trump's executive order to seek to end birthright citizenship is constitutional. Birthright citizenship means that anyone born on U.S. soil is a U.S. citizen. This case tests a key aspect of the president's second-term immigration agenda. The main issue is whether the president's directive, issued on his first day back in the White House, agrees with the 14th Amendment's citizenship clause and federal immigration law.
In June 1866, Congress approved the 14th Amendment in order to overturn the Dred Scott decision that stripped citizenship from enslaved people and their children. It guaranteed anyone born in America, no matter their race or their parents, would be recognized as a true American. Legal scholar Dr. John Eastman says, while the amendment's original intent stayed strong for about 75 years, over time that began to shift.
Somehow it just kind of worked into our nation's psyche that if you're just born here, that's all that's necessary. And that's never what that amendment said or intended. It was very clear. They were codifying the 1866 Civil Rights Act. The word they used was temporary sojourners.
Eastman argues that concept of temporary sojourners is key to the true meaning of the 14th Amendment. On his first day back in office, President Trump moved quickly to challenge its current interpretation. He signed an executive order blocking automatic U.S. citizenship for children born on American soil if their mothers were in the country illegally or visiting on a temporary visa. Trump says he acted out of concern that visitors and undocumented immigrants took advantage of the system, coming here specifically to give birth so their children could be citizens.
Hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves.
Supreme Court justices are expected to decide on this issue before its current term ends this summer. This isn't the first time, however, the court has taken up this question. It happened in the landmark 1898 case, United States versus Wong Kim Ark. In that case, the court ruled that a child born here to Chinese immigrant parents who were legal permanent residents living and working here and not diplomats was a U.S. citizen at birth under the 14th Amendment. Eastman argues that decision shows birthright citizenship is really about national allegiance, not just legal jurisdiction.
If you're a temporary sojourner and you still owe your allegiance to a foreign power, your king or the emperor of China or whatever, then this clause does not give you your children automatic citizenship.
Journalist Peter Schweizer warns the current understanding of birthright citizenship could threaten the integrity of American elections. Schweizer and his investigative team tracked more than 1,000 Chinese birth tourism surrogacy companies and discovered a growing birth tourism industry run by the Chinese government. Among the companies examined, Star Baby Care, a company that publicly lists its clients, including government tax officials, executives at China Telecom, Chinese Central Television, and Bank of China. Also China Mifu Baby Group and You Win USA. They advertise services aimed at Chinese elites and promote U.S. citizenship benefits on their websites and Chinese social media. Other firms like USA Happy Baby are tied to clients from China's Ministry of Propaganda and Public Security Bureau.
They brag about who their clients are. They are military officers, intelligence officers, propagandists. These are the heartbeat of the Chinese Communist Party system. And it begs the question, why would the Chinese Communist Party be encouraging people like this to do this with their children? And I'm going to say it's not because they're doing it in our interests.
In recent remarks before a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee hearing on birthright citizenship, Schweizer revealed that pregnant wives of top Communist Party officials are sent to the United States to have their babies and then return home. He lays it out in his latest book.
Okay, but here's the thing about this. I understand that you can make this claim, but what are their names? Who are they? Where are their pictures? When did this happen?
Invisible Coup, how American elites and foreign powers use immigration as a weapon, and explains that after birth and automatic U.S. citizenship, the child is raised in China. At age 18, these individuals can return to the United States and vote in American elections, since they are citizens by birth.
Then the question becomes scale. How many people are we talking about? And it turns out it's massive. The Chinese government believes that on average, over the course of the last 13 years, every single year, roughly on average, 100,000.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Pete. You just said that the Chinese government believes this. So you're speaking for the Chinese government, but not being a Chinese government official. On top of it, you work for the American government. Why can't you tell me the numbers from an American census that we all take all the time? Why can't you do that? Why can't you tell me what your department and the people that from your country have decided? Secondly, 100,000? Let's do some math here. We're going to go on Polymarket to see what Polymarket has to say about all of this. Because I totally believe that Polymarket has the answers that we're looking for right now. We're going to debunk this live. This man just stated that the presidential elections in the United States can be changed by 100,000 voters that came from China. Polymarket says, blow it up a little bit. Polymarket says there's less than one chance that a presidential election can be decided by less than 100,000 voters. Less of all time. Less than a percentage that this is even possible. Less than a percentage. No disputes, no final outcomes, no outcome proposed. This market will resolve to yes if the second place candidate in the 2024 U.S. presidential election could reach 270 electoral college votes with an additional 100,000 votes, distributed optimally across any number of relevant jurisdictions. Any number of relevant jurisdictions, United States, electoral districts, D.C. Otherwise, this market will resolve to a no. This is never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's not the truth. They're distracting you with lies. They're distracting you with lies. So they want to take away citizenship from people for no reason at all because of a hoax that is being represented by this jackass right here. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing at all. 100,000 votes for the presidential election is not going to do anything when there's 330 plus million people in the country. It grinds my gears. What's up, N2 Deep? What's up? What's going on, Passport Skull? Passport Skull is in the building. Nice to see y'all brothers in here this afternoon. So the whole thing about birthright citizenship being taken away because of voting fraud is BS. We just debunked it live.
Chinese babies have been born in the United States or on our territories, places like Saipan.
According to Schweizer, that means over the past decade, at least 1 million future American voters have grown up in China under the Communist Party's influence.
They're going to be able to vote in our elections. That's a massive intrusion into our internal politics. To put that number into perspective, Gary, let's remember the 2016 election, Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton. That was settled by 72,000 votes. So 1 million votes from China obviously could swing a presidential election easily.
And
that's also false.
Their allegiance would be to China and the Communist Party, not to the United States and the democratic process, correct?
Yes, that's exactly right. These are the children of the elite. These are not dissidents.
Legal experts say the Supreme Court could soon narrow who qualifies for citizenship under the 14th Amendment. That could mean children born to undocumented immigrants or even temporary visa holders, like pregnant Chinese visitors, may no longer be granted citizenship at birth. If the justices go that route, it would mark a dramatic change from what Americans have known for generations. The Supreme Court will hear arguments in Trump versus Barbara on April 1st.
So we got one day until the Supreme Court gets here. We'll probably cover this again tomorrow, just to let you guys understand and know about this. But this is ridiculous. Again, there are people that are putting out false information that sounds good. That sounds good, but the actual numbers are telling us something completely different. We'll check all of it. We'll check all of it. For example, Democratic presidential nominee Gavin Newsom is beating Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for now. Marco Rubio is losing to J.D. Vance for now. And how could he not? Because J.D. Vance is the vice president. U.S.-Iran ceasefire by December 31st this year. 76% think so. By June 30th, 65% think so. Will Iranian regime fall by March 31st? There's less than 1% chance of this happening because that's today. Presidential election winner in 2028. They look at all these numbers in depth. In depth. You can see this, right? This is how a lot of people figure out what's going on in the world is by looking at the odds. And they take in all of this stuff. And I'm pretty sure they use AI for it too. They take in all of it to find out what's going on. Look at all of this. This is letting you know how things are going in your country. It's all posted for people that want to take a look at it, but people don't want to ever look at these things because these types of things get on their nerves. These types of things are boring. But to sit there and to make a claim like, oh, 100,000 votes is going to change things. First of all, 1 million people, they have to be at least 18 years old. How many of them are there? You should know because you took the census. If you took the census, you should know who's voting because you also have to register to vote. You don't just get to vote in the United States. You have to go and register. You don't just get to walk up and say, here's my ID, I'm going to vote. No, you have to register to vote. They have to have you on file so you can vote. All of this voter fraud stuff is ridiculous, and it's a lie. It's a lie. How long are we going to keep listening to the lies? That's all I got on birthrights today, guys. We're going to talk some more about it rest of the week. We're going to see what the decision turns out into, and then we're going to talk about it. For now, I'm going to tell you guys we have another segment left. Yes, we do.
I'm going to come. Oh.
He's ready. He's ready to go. He's ready to go. We're not going to talk about any of that other stuff that everybody else was talking about today.
Blah, blah, gay sex, blah, blah, Congress.
It is time to talk about one of the issues that is very close and very near and dear to all of our hearts. But first, I think it's time for a TezDown stretch down. Let's go. Right on time every time. Let's get it going, y'all. Yeah. Yeah, stretch those knuckles up. Let's go. Stretch it out. Give me a takedown. Let's go left to the right, y'all. Right on the left. Okay. Your fingers a little bit. That'll help you get a little bit more. Get our roll on. There you go. Let's go. All right now, y'all. Got that back a little bit. Yeah. Just sitting in this chair, maybe twist it. Maybe twist it. Yeah. Let's try a little bit. Today. I got you guys here right now. And there is some housekeeping that I got to do before we continue with the show. We got one more segment left after this. And we're going to do some housekeeping right now because we do have a show coming up. And in that show that's coming up, it's Soulmates Tour in Georgia on June the 6th in Columbus, Georgia. Make sure you guys check out some of the flyers on the Raw Society Coalition website. We are going to be doing a show there. Let me guys give you what we did and what our shows look like. This is a show from Chicago that we just did recently on February the 13th on the Singles and Soulmates Tour.
Why you ain't say nothing? I'm only gonna do this once. You always knew I'd make it in the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? You believed in me the whole time? Yeah. I couldn't tell. You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Seen them hard times couldn't kill me. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something. But watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say?
Hey, where'd it go? Come back. Yeah, bring it back. Y'all not gonna miss out.
Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something. But watching my story all winter. Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't call? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't say nothing? Why you ain't? You was around me from the beginning. Why you ain't say nothing? Stages I'm on getting bigger. Now you wanna say something. Put that on my soul.
So that was the show in Chicago. I'm going to show you guys the flyer for the show that we're going to be doing in Georgia on June 6th. We are on tour. This is the Singles and Soulmates Tour for the Raw Society Coalition. Make sure you guys screenshot that and get your tickets now. We did have some people fly in last time, and it was awesome watching them fly in. I'm going to give you guys, so make sure you screenshot that. I'm going to show you guys the Raw Society Coalition team pages. If you guys are not members of these pages, if you guys that don't subscribe to them, make sure you give these guys a subscribe. I'm going to leave it up for a second. You guys can go ahead and screenshot it. You guys are here. The 5 of us do form together like Voltron. That is the Raw Society Coalition, the Classic Code, Souls of Thought, Uncle Plug TV, Conversations with Sovereign, and the TezDown, which you hear right now. And we are going to finish the show on a high note today, but we're going to be talking about the millennials. And I told you guys I would come back to the song, so I'll come back to the song. Let's go.
I'm only gonna do this once.
Again, we're at 440 something subscribers. Thank you. We are pushing towards 500.
Anything attached to me that could be holding
Thank you guys for subscribing to the TezDown. We are trying to get to 500, and we will. So I'm playing the song for you guys. Thank you for getting me there. We are almost free, y'all. Let's get to 500.
They think ill about me, they still around me. Lord God, please set me free. I ain't going out like Gandhi, bet it won't be nobody next to me. Cause I'm watching the people on Classic more than the people I don't. It's the people that hurt
Welcome
me
to the building, the Classic Colors. How you doing, man?
They made a mistake, I gave them some grace. I make a mistake and they won't do the same. People be dishing out what they can't take and they take what they cannot get back to the game. I'm unforgiving cause I'm unforgetting. I harbor resentment, I know what you did me. I am not Jesus, it ain't no repentance when I'm on a mission and moving relentless. Been here before, I know the feeling. Think it's forever, the end to be chilling. Mike Jackson, my life is a thriller. Close to midnight, I turn to the villain. Boundaries over sparing your feelings. Sebastian gone, you can cry me a rip. To be great, you gon' have to be different. When you say it, they gotta know that you meant it. Long as your actions match your diction, people gon' know that you standing on business. A lot of experiences come with this wisdom. I'm only giving you what I've been living. Enlightened now, but still remember the time my mind was a prison. Enlightened now, but still remember the time I felt like a victim.
Yeah, set me free. Set me free,
Enlightened now, but still remember the time I felt like a victim.
We are almost there. We are almost there, y'all.
Yeah. Lord God, let me fly, They think ill about me, they still around me. Lord God, please set me free.
Thank you, guys. Again, I want to thank all the people who are new to the show, the people who have been here the whole time. We are quickly approaching 500 subscribers, and then the next goal after 500 is going to be 1,000 for full monetization on YouTube, and we are trying to get there so I can continue to give you guys this content that you want and the content that I love to give you anyway. So the best way to do that is to continue sharing me out, continue telling your friends about me, and giving the truth to people who want the truth. We are not here for the grift. We are not here to make sure that we're going to line just our pockets. We are trying to make sure that the world is indeed a better place and trying to make sure that people know how to do it. As you just saw in the show so far today, it is possible to leave this country. It is possible to go to a place where you will have a higher quality of life for less money and probably a lot more fun with a lot less presence, whether it be governing bodies above you or not, for a lot less money, especially if you work remote or if you have an inheritance or a savings. There's been 9 million people who have left the country. We find out that that is the truth, and more people are leaving. 9 million is not insignificant. 100,000 is, but you have also people who are denouncing their citizenship altogether. And that part is a little bit concerning, don't you think? Right now, we are moving on to the rest of our episode from yesterday. So if you guys missed it, just try to catch up. We're checking in with a woman named Brie and her life as a millennial and why she can't seem to find love, why she can't seem to find any friends. We don't know what's going on. She's 34, she's single, she's jobless, and she's always alone.
Day, but now you're not. And that time that you were spending with that person is completely replaced with something else. Now, if you want to see this person, you got to go out of your way to see this person. You can't just walk over to the desk and be like, hey, you want to go grab lunch? Or as you're leaving, you can't like stop by your cars and like talk for 30 minutes. You're not in the same world anymore. You don't know the same people. The stories that you're telling from work don't have the same impact because they don't know who you're talking about. You got to set stage for them. And you could probably do it at first, but it gets harder and it starts to test the friendship. During the pandemic, I was making a lot of friends at the dog park in my apartment complex. And it was all because we were all working from home and we all had dogs. So we could spend like 30 minutes to an hour in the dog park just like talking to each other. But once the world opened back up, people's social circles shifted, you know, they're back doing stuff at work. People moved. Like I said, you keep up with those people at first originally, but as time goes on, those relationships with those people kind of fade. Speaking of jobs, I've been unemployed for 5 months. I got laid off from my last job because we lost a big contract and like a third of the company lost their jobs. So it wasn't personal. I've been applying and the jobs that are calling me back are all below a living wage. And I can tell you up front, I am not financially ambitious. I don't plan on being a millionaire. It sounds very stressful, actually. I really only need enough money to live, to pay my bills, save for retirement, go out for a nice dinner every once in a while, buy a bottle of wine once a week. That's really it. I'm not trying to travel, a whole bunch.
Sounds like you want a really simple life and can't afford it.
Or buy a Mercedes. I drive a Kia. I have a 1-bedroom apartment. I just want to feed my dog and buy.
Sco says she's alone because she can't do anything. Going outside costs money. You can't go or do anything without currency in these days. And I'm gonna agree with you, Sco.
Bubble bath and feeling like I have to go to a soul-sucking job just to maintain that very basic lifestyle feels so draining. When I was in college, I went to school for fine arts. I wanted to be a graphic novelist or an animator at Disney or a storyboard artist. I loved storytelling and I wanted to learn the artistic skills to be able to do that. And you know what I imagine my life would be like? I thought, I'd work in an office and I'd have colleagues. We'd all talk and make friends. Mostly, I pictured my office looking like the office from Just Shoot Me. I know nobody has to remember that. It's super obscure. It's from the 90s. That was my first introduction to David Spade.
I remember it.
The rest of you, the only thing you know about David Spade, which you probably might not have even known, is that he's the voice of Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove. But, I thought I'll get a degree. I'll get a good paying job. I'll work with other creative people and everything will just work out. I genuinely thought that that's what adult life was going to look like. But what I did not realize was that I was a neurodivergent introvert with ADHD. I wanted to work in an office environment that requires you to not be those things. My nature was not compatible with the life that I was trying to build. And
No, because people who have the same things that you're dealing with typically don't work well in those types of structures. They don't.
Didn't really figure that out until I had already graduated and started working. I am fundamentally incompatible with office environments. Work is not.
Conversation with Soft Rain says, I'm pretty sure there's a job out there somewhere. You've got to be open to getting a job you'll be overqualified for, i.e. grocery store, fast food, etc., just to open to explore other options. Now, while I may agree with you, Soft Rain, about being open to having jobs, what about the stigma that society places on you about going to work? If you remember, on the Human Experience, we did a whole segment in one of the very first episodes that was titled, Do Women Still Love a Man in Uniform? And abundantly, the answer was no. Even the women in the comment section were saying that they don't want to date somebody that works in those types of industries. It's not glamorous. It doesn't have a lot of upside these days. You can't brag about it to your friends and your friends group. There have been parents that have said they don't want their daughter marrying somebody who doesn't have a multi-year degree and career. I mean, this is starting to get to be ridiculous in this country, don't you think? Rain said, I'd rather have some money than no money. I also agree, but here's the thing. If you have a group of friends and everybody in your friendship group is a doctor, a lawyer, something to that extent, and then you tell them that you work at McDonald's, but you're a manager, what do you think they're going to say to you? They're probably going to bring to you the same type of garbage that people bring to their friends all the time, which is, you could do better, or you should be up here with us, or you should be making the same type of money that we're making, and why aren't you? You're smart. Not realizing that everybody has different skills, but also not realizing that everybody is worried about rampant capitalism all the time. But yeah, if you need some money, go make some money. I'm with you there. I'm with you on that, Rain. I've never been ashamed to do any of the jobs that I've done. I went to work, and I came home, and I had money in my pocket after. Most of the time. Some jobs didn't pay, and that's a whole nother story. He says, sounds like the Roman Empire. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit on the on one of the shorts that I posted.
Intuitive to me. Like I said before, I need a lot of context before I can fully grasp a project. If somebody says, Brianna, I need you to build a house, I have questions. What type of house? Do you want a townhouse? Do you want a single family home? 1 story, 2 stories? How many bedrooms? I feel like managers want you to just intuit the needs of the company, of the business, of them, of the job. And they kind of want you to just read their minds. They give you an assignment and they want you to just go off and make it happen. But I can't do that. Something else I hate is office politics that are at play. When you see it on TV, all that drama and office hijinks seems like fun until you're in it and it's your job that's on the line that is paying you for your lifestyle. Then it's horrifying. I've been in situations where I had a terrible manager who I was afraid to say anything about because I was afraid that I was going to get fired or I was going to get in trouble. The worst manager I ever had called me a hoe in a team meeting. So I'm going to set the scene. My manager was a Black woman, which I would have.
Whoa. Your manager called you what? A 304? Okay. All right.
Thought so much more of her, for her to put me, another woman, in the situation. And there were two other people present. One was a 50-year-old Pakistani man, and the other was a Black guy who was around my age. We had actually went to middle school together. His girlfriend actually got me that job. Just for some backstory, I had gone on a date with somebody at the job. This was the only person at the job that I had ever gone on a date with. The whole rest of the time this manager knew me, I had a boyfriend. We weren't even.
Hold on, I missed the comment. Yes, I did. Let's go back and fix that comment. Richard said, what's crazy is this is all around aliens seeing EBT as free food and sending the American dollar back home. Okay, Richard, I can see that happening. I would do it too. What's up, Mikey? How you doing? What's up, man? You guys missed me going in on Pete Shrivner and his garbage. Thanks, In Too Deep. Bringing in the bins. What's up, guys? What's up, person? What's up, Mikey? McKinnon's back. The workforce is about to get insanely hard for new generations. That's why I'm pushing my kids to do something with their passions. My son is a sneakerhead, so he's making his own designs, own assets. That's amazing. What's up? What's up, Viper? How you doing? What's up, LB? How you doing? Nice to see you. If you catch you guys up real quick, this is a woman who has what's up, Weez? How you doing? This is a young woman who is having issues being a millennial in today's society. And the reason that she's having such a problem is because society sucks. And the reason society sucks, we're going to hear it coming straight from her. This was her in an office meeting at her last job. And she said it was the worst manager that she ever had. On top of this, we did a story about this yesterday, and we're finishing this up. It's the second half of it, where she is neurodivergent and ADHD. And just she has a hard time connecting to a lot of different people. She doesn't have a real personality, as she said. She likes a lot of little things, but she has no defining moments. And so we're going to listen to the rest of this as to how this happened. Tons of mice say razor blades and raisins, the Ben's favorite cereal. Yeah, as long as there's no onions in it or cheesecake.
Talking about this, we weren't even talking about the guy. I don't remember what was being said, but in the meeting, she called me a hoe in front of these two guys. And the 50-year-old Pakistani man just burst out laughing. I don't even think he had a complete grasp on the English language, but he knew what a hoe was, and he thought that shit was hilarious. I never heard this man laugh in my life. He was super stoic, didn't show any emotions, just kind of gave a blank stare all the time. And to this day, I do not know if he was laughing out of discomfort.
International. What's up, Scott?
He was shocked.
Is it called Raisin Blades Tongue?
And that's the type of shit that I'm like, I just don't want to deal with that. I know you're probably thinking like, well, did you tell anyone? First of all, this lady had both her hands cupping in the back pockets, cupping the booty of our director. My director loved her. I just want to put the spotlight on.
Bootlicker. She was a bootlicker. Listen, guys, there's nothing that you can get by brown nosing or bootlicking that you couldn't get by just doing your job. Matter of fact, if everybody just did their job and didn't brown nose, bootlick, or try to suck up, everyone would be better off. Brown nosing and bootlicking and sucking up is for people who are not good at their jobs. I'm a firm believer in that. What's up, Racehead? How you doing? You know, you can't expect for things to get better or change if the way that you're going to get by is by looking for ways to get around actually doing work. You can't. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have a job and live your life and not want to work completely all day and pay nothing but taxes and bills. But there is something wrong with going to work and then thinking that you're not going to work because you bought the boss lunch. That's a problem. So I agree with her on this.
I mean, I was already struggling with the work as it is. Even though I had two witnesses there, I didn't feel comfortable. And then it's like, I tell on my boss and I tell that she called me a hoe in this team meeting. She's not going to get fired. She'll probably get slap on the wrist. She'll get reprimanded, and then she'll still be my fucking boss. So I started looking for another job, and I got the fuck up out of there. That's the
Alistair. What's up, Alistair?
I'm eager to go back to. I had an interview 2
Good to
weeks
see
ago.
you.
I was hoping to God they wouldn't call me back, and they haven't. And I just feel a weird mix of relief and disappointment, melancholy. You know, I at least wanted them to want me. I wanted to reject them, not the other way around. Also, when it comes to work, like I cannot work in an environment where it feels like people can like just watch me and see what I'm doing. I hate when I'm working in an environment where people are walking behind me a lot. I can literally hear and feel the presence of every single person walking behind me, and it gives me so much anxiety. And I'd go to my managers and I'd say, hey, is it okay if I like sit against the wall? There would be seats available, or with my back to the window. And they would always say no. And you know what? The one time that I was actually able to sit in a corner and my back was like facing a window, I got 2 promotions in 6 months. I feel like that clearly says when I'm in the right environment and I have the right setting, I can thrive. They don't want to listen. They don't give a fuck about me. I'm not trying to complain that this is the work environment. For people who thrive in that and are fine with that, I think that's great for them. I didn't realize that I wasn't compatible with that lifestyle. I went to school for creative.
You're not the only person that isn't compatible with that lifestyle. I would hazard a guess that just about everybody that is watching today isn't compatible with the lifestyle of being forced into labor in a dark, dreary place that you had to drive 45 minutes to. Then when you get there, you're subservient the entire time. The managers and the owners and the bosses and the CEOs and the COOs and all of the lovely letter titles that people get at these businesses, they don't show up for work. In some cases, they don't show up for months at a time. And their office is just cleaned by the people, which is also costing the company money. Don't ask me how I know. I'm going to tell you that I know. And you probably know too, because most of you guys have probably been in the same situation. Some of you probably didn't see your managers ever. Some people don't even know the CEO by first name basis. The CEO walked into the building, you probably recognize them just from the pictures on the wall, and they don't even know who you are. Yet you do all this work every single day, and they make a huge deal when you need to take a day off to go to the doctor. So you're afraid to take a day off. You sit in this place with all these people, and everyone's just screaming about deadlines. And what do? When you guys succeed or you guys do something as a team, they'll either bring you donuts and terrible cold coffee in a box or a pizza party. Hey, you guys just broke the record for $1 billion. Here's a pizza party from a cheap pizza place that isn't even good. Couldn't even get any of the premium brands. Couldn't even get any of the premium American brands at that. They're going to give out styrofoam cups and you guys are going to drink soda from Aldi. Not even individual bottles. No. Everybody share. Take a styrofoam 6-ounce cup, pour it in the 6-ounce cup, and you can have that with your lunch. You got 15 minutes. And then I want to see everybody back to work to break the next record. Soft Rain says she needs to work from home. Ray said that's why the managers have offices. Exactly. Person says, this lady tells a coherent story, very believable. I would see her as a sound employee. That is the mindset that more people need to have. Chat, please hit the like button. Hey, I appreciate that, Viper Scott. Yo, put your ones up for Viper Scott, yo. Soft, yep, by the sounds of things. McKinnon said, I've got a low opinion of CEOs. I've rarely met one that I respect. Most of the time, everyone underneath the CEO is struggling to fix shit they broke. And that's the truth. Most of the time, people are struggling to fix what the CEOs broke. Look, I'm going to tell you one of my very best friends in this entire world right now. Godfather to my daughter, if you guys need to know. He worked at a company. And at the company that he worked at, the person that was supposedly above him was gone for like 2 years during the pandemic. In the meantime, he fixed all the problems that they had at the company. Broke all the records for the entire country in more than one place. And they wanted to reward him with a lower salary instead of being hourly. And still wouldn't give him that person's job who just was not there because they were on some type of weird sick leave plus PTO plus whatever else they got from their manager's package. So imagine if that's just one person of 330 million people in the United States. How many more people are just like him? They break records. They do all the stuff that's supposed to be done. They take care of all the business. And then the person that's above them, another middle manager, takes all the benefit, all the credit, doesn't give them any, and just rides off into the sunset with their bonuses. Like I said before, I made a phone call to the government last week to make some stuff happen. And they tried to get me to do their job and said, well, they're on vacation. Well, I need that person to be in their office. I need them to be in their office. If they're not in their office, that means somebody else has to do their job and they're not even good at it because they were never trained to do it and they're not getting paid to do it. Why would you be good at a job you're not being paid to do? And then if you're just one of those people that just decides to become good at a job that they're not being paid to do, you're not going to get paid to do that job. So I'm gonna agree with her. Said Little Caesars, right? It's You Deep said, my CEO is an a-hole, and I tell myself to be nicer to myself. You have to see, look, we're coping by telling ourselves to do better, and be nicer to ourselves when they should just be nicer to us. Because we're doing the jobs, we're making the money, we're making them rich. They're on their yachts and in their vacations because of us. Right? They're not doing any work. You can't do any work when you're not there. One phone call a week means you worked. Come on now. You got the biggest office in here. You never show up. Hey, I totally understand aspiring to have the biggest office and never happen to show up. I totally understand that. But that doesn't mean that it's good for the company or the people that are working. It doesn't. Let's hear Brie out.
Creativity, not for office bullshit. I'm much more compatible with freelance work. You get assigned a project, you get a due date, you do it, at your own pace. You want to work at 8 a.m., you can do that. You want to work at 1 a.m., you can do that. But you know what you don't get as a freelancer? Insurance, benefits, a pension. So when I was freelancing between jobs, I didn't have health insurance, which means I wasn't allowed to get sick, which is insane. Oh, also, we
talk about this often.
That wasn't obvious by that last horrifying statement. Last year, after my April deadline came and went, I spent a lot of time grieving the life that I was never going to have. I thought I was going to have kids by now. I thought I was going to be married. I may have wondered who I would
What's
end
up,
with,
Billy? Evening,
how
man.
many kids we would have, but not whether I would end up with anyone or have kids at all. At 34, you're supposed to be building a family and solidifying plans for your future, not getting let go from an entry-level writing job that you've only been at for a year, rapidly cannibalizing my savings just to stay afloat. The really fucked up part is I just want somebody to confirm that I'm never going to have the things that I want and that I should just give up hoping for them. Like, I've been thinking, I'd love for my dog to have a companion, but I'm like, well, I don't want to get another dog. What if I meet somebody and they already have a dog? Then we'd have 3 dogs. Plus, I have 2 cats. And then if we have kids, that'll be too much. I want somebody to say,
not only too much, it'd be hard to afford. Did any of you guys have animals before you got married or before you became a domestic partner to anybody? Did you realize that you have 2 dogs, they have 2 cats, a gerbil, a goldfish, and then you'd want to introduce children into this relationship, into this way of living, and then you know what happens after that? They raise your rent. The cost of living goes up. The property taxes go up. How about them apples? You bought your house at a time when the mortgage rates were low, and they're going to raise your property taxes. All the money that you made and that you've gotten in your raise, that you got 2 raises, remember, your raises is mitigated by the fact that they raised your property taxes an extra couple $1,000s a year. Like that's just okay. What changed about this land? Nothing. Nothing changed about the land that it's on. They just decided they were going to do it. Where does the money go? Is it going back into the school system? No. Is it going back into the infrastructure? Also no. Is it going into the healthcare programs? No. What is it going into? Is it going into sustainable businesses in the neighborhoods? No. They're losing businesses left and right. Mom and pop shops are still closing. They have been steadily closing since the pandemic. That was not the end of it. And then the companies that got bailouts, what did they do with the money? They didn't give the money to the workers. They didn't give massive raises to all the people when they got their billions of dollars worth of bailouts. No, they bought new yachts. They went on more vacations. They bought new cars, new technology. They had more fun. They are spending less time at work than they've ever spent at work before. And guess what? We're spending more time at work than we've ever spent before. So becoming free of all of it is something that what we have been trying to do, which is why we sit here day in and day out and try to change it by opening our mouths and talking about it. Because if we're not opening our mouths and talking about it, then what's getting done? Absolutely nothing, because people got their fingers in their ears going la 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 la. We can't hear you. All you guys want is more steak and more avocado toast, but that's exactly what you're eating. Avocados aren't expensive. Well, they're starting to be expensive. I mean, they really kind of are. But toast, bread. Here we go again. Let the meat cake all over again. Why is it always let the meat cake? Can somebody please explain this to me? I'm confused. Every time I turn around, it's let them meat cake. We don't care about the people. Let them get it how they live. which is like garbage. Okay, guys. We saw people leaving, 9 million people leaving the United States to go live elsewhere. We saw over 4,000 people renounce their citizenship altogether and don't want to come back. We have all the people that are abroad applying for visas every few months just so they can stay where they're at and not have to be here. We saw a guy living in a penthouse in Bangkok, in the beautiful city, clean city, low crime areas, super happy, with nice stuff in his penthouse for $1,200 a month, with great weather, wearing shorts and cotton shirts to button up every day with sunglasses on. He looked healthy, didn't he? Eating great food, healthy food that he didn't pay a lot of money for. $2 for all that chicken, $4 for all that steak. He's making it himself. Big old double king size bed. Come on, man. You guys can't continue to convince me that the greatest country in the world, this United States, is still the greatest country in the world when everybody's suffering outside of the top 10%. You can't convince me of that. When normal people in places like Mexico and Costa Rica can find ways to live that are sustainable and awesome, and they have great lives and they're happy, when we're pissed off every day with bags under our eyes, we got 34-year-olds looking like 50-year-olds in this country. Why? Because we're working ourselves to death. It's just the way that it is. Viper Scott says UK has sick pay, maternity leave, has statutory holidays, not perfect, but better than some countries have. Yeah, this one, better than what this country has. And Deep said no. He says, yes, I did have a dog. McKinnon said, the life you thought you were going to have is statistically not likely to happen. That's just the truth. You can get pieces of it, but you have to pivot to the world as it is and find your workaround. But here's the thing. Here's the problem with that, McKinnon. They spent 18 years of our lives, and even more if we went to college, to tell us that things were going to be great because the next generation is building the future, and we have laid the foundation for you to do so. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about this. Everybody gets a car. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Everybody's going to have a house. Everybody's going to have the opportunity to be heard and seen in the politics, and everybody's going to be represented by the government. That's what they sold us. How are you going to get mad at us, the millennials, for being sold this dream as children and believing in it and perpetuating it and working it and trying to make it happen for us each and every single day? And they keep stealing from us each and every single day. And then we have people like Brie, who normally would have been married and living happily in a home because she wants to have a spouse, a partner, some dogs, some kids, a nice place to go to work, a nice place to live, and just relax after they get off of work without having to worry about, oh man, I got 17 bills due tomorrow. And no time to date, and no time to get into anybody, and all of these social stigmas that I have to deal with, and my boss treating me like I'm yet less than a human. This is not uncommon in millennials. This is not complaining. This is a lifestyle that many of us have had to adapt just to get to tomorrow. Once again, people have asked me, what did you do? What did they do? What are you doing? We are just trying to survive. And that's hard enough right now.
Hey, Brianna, you're never going to find a partner. You'll never have kids. This is your life. Because at least then I could do something about that. I could just move on. I could get another dog. People tell me like, Brianna, you have an apartment, you have a car, be grateful. Some people don't even have that. And I'm like, by my own standards, the very least I could do is have an apartment and a car. I'm 34 years old. I should not be living with my parents. I don't have the big things in life. I struggle with loneliness and lack of friendship. I don't have kids. I don't want to be pat on the back for doing what I consider is the bare minimum. And that's not to put anybody down that is living that life, but that was the standard that I set for myself.
I love it.
But ultimately, that's not productive, right? It's not a productive way of thinking. I have to stop
really
about it. And when I'm finally done grieving a life that I may never have, I have to strategize, to go back to the drawing board and rethink my whole future trajectory. And I need to accept that I might not have kids and that I may never get married.
Also agree, McKinnon.
My life, and I have to be okay with that. When I first started working on this video, it was really a story about grief.
That's what I'm talking about, Ray said.
I'm living this life that never happened, and I was lamenting that. Now that I've realized that I am fundamentally incompatible with some of the things that you need to attain the goals that I had, that there's no amount of Amazon gift cards or end of the year bonuses or unlimited PTO that's going to make up for the fact that I hate office politics. Today, I was sitting in the Taco Bell parking lot eating a burrito, and I just sat there thinking, is this the life?
I don't know how to answer that.
Eating a burrito and not have to answer to anyone, not having to worry about picking up the kids, not having a partner messaging me like, bitch, where you at? Am I supposed to like this? I've been sitting with it, and I think the reality is, I don't know. I don't think I ever considered my life without those things. So I never really stopped to think if I could be happy without them. You know, I feel like a soldier who was trained for combat. I was prepared for all these struggles that came along with marriage, with having children. Now I feel like a combat soldier who has just been told that I've been relieved of duty before even starting the tour and that I'm never going to see combat. And I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? It almost makes me feel like I'm going to perpetually be living like I'm in my 20s while still actually aging.
And you have been and probably will continue, because there are people in this country that don't want to vote for the right things. There are people in this country that don't want to fight for the right things. And there are people that will look you in your face and tell you that you're just lazy. That's what they're going to tell you. I know, I've heard it myself. Even when I work 75 hours plus per week and still do. Like I said at the beginning of this, working 75 hours plus per week on some of the good weeks, still being a dad, still playing football, still going to practice, still boxing, still hitting the gym. When then have to pay bills and run errands, not to mention being a spouse. When am I supposed to sleep? When am I supposed to rest? When am I supposed to relax? And well, you're not going to get the money if you want to have a vacation. You've been on vacation for 4 months out this year. Do not tell me that I can't have one. That just sounds like complaining. Maybe you should have studied harder when you were in school. What difference did our grades make? The money's not real. None of it is. If you could decide tomorrow that rent's going to be $3,500 a month because it's a premium spot, then no, none of it's real. You bought the house for $120,000 in 1996, and now you want to sell it for $450,000 or rent it for $3,500 a month when your mortgage is just about paid at $900 a month. This is a real thing, guys. This is not a joke. This is not somebody talking about something they don't know. And I'm currently still looking for new housing. We all are. I'm not the only one. We're constantly in a focus of where, even when we're staying in a place, we're looking for new housing because we do realize that it's a limited amount of time that we're going to be able to stay here and still afford it because the wages aren't going up. Well, I thought they switched it to $15 minimum wage. Yeah, the cost of living tripled since then. Well, then you should make $30 an hour. Again, I'd have to make 45 to break even. What are you talking about? So no, I'm not going to put myself through the struggle of trying to even get there. There's not even that many jobs that pay that much. We'll get into sales. Well, apply yourself. You apply yourself. You ate paste in school and you were able to get all of this stuff. And now you want to sell it to me for exponentially more than what you actually bought it for. You didn't do anything to it. You didn't upgrade it. We just saw that this man got all new appliances when he bought his place because they decided to give him all new appliances when he bought his place. He's still on a visa, a 5-year visa. He has to renew every 6 months. It could work like that here. It really could. They just don't want it to.
I don't mean in the fun way. I mean all the stability that is supposed to come with age, like making more money, having security. You know, right now my grandmother is 72. She had a couple of episodes that left her practically immobile. Not too long ago, she fell and broke her leg. And the family came together. You know, all 10 of us kids and grandkids, we rallied. We talked about all the steps we needed to take to make sure that she was healing properly and that she was properly assisted. We were working in shifts and planning everything out. And the reality is, if I never have kids, this will not be happening for me. There will be no people coming to rally around me. No children and grandchildren saying, don't worry, mom, we'll take care of you. I only have one close sibling, my little brother. He's 16 years younger than me. So I don't know if I'm going to have nieces and nephews to help me either, depending on when he has kids, when or if. What if I'm not financially stable because I never found a career?
Exactly.
And I won't have money to put myself in a home or hire a nurse. It's kind of scary, the idea of aging alone. And I think warrants a video.
I wish I could.
But I have to take these steps now and be like, okay, I'm 70 years old and break my leg. Then what happens? How do I make sure I'm taken care of? Right now, I'm feeling more hopeful about the future, and that's a new feeling. The thought of maybe I can be happy if I never find love. Maybe I can be happy if I never have kids. Maybe all the skills I learned, how to be a good partner, how to be a good parent, maybe I can use them in other areas of my life. Maybe I can put them into my books because I like to write books. Maybe I can put them into those stories. And I'm just trying to figure out what to do with all this unused energy that I was putting towards those.
If you guys didn't know, she came here and started this with the fact that she has a degree for creation. Let's just call it what it is. She has a degree for creation. Storyboard artist, as well as a story creator. She could be working for one of these. She thought she was going to work for Disney or one of those other companies. That's why her content's so good. She does have really good content. If you guys check out Brie the Woman. What is it? Brie the Woman. I don't want to mess it up. Brie the Woman, the Mannequin. Brie the Mannequin. Brie the Mannequin. Okay. That was a lot to say, guys.
Things. It's just a fact that I'll have to strategize for a future that I might have to go through alone.
And enjoy your day, Tons.
Hopeful because
I'm almost done.
I don't necessarily know what happiness is going to look like for Brianna of the future, but I need to stay flexible. I was going to say I don't need to have a rigid view of what a happy ending should be like. Yeah, Brianna, you don't need to have a rigid happy ending. I don't have the whole thing figured out, and that's
this answer, why were you born, and more importantly, why must we die? Because my parents fancied each other in college. That's why I was born.
okay. What happens next? I don't know. Stay tuned, definitely. If you're a regular here and you made it all the way to the end, you'll notice that this video is being recorded in the daytime. I don't know if all future videos are.
Make sure you guys go ahead and give Brie I'm gonna go to her page really quick. We're gonna do it live together. Brie the Mannequin and all of her good content. We can talk to it. You know, she only got a couple of videos, but they're good videos, 38 of them. You know, we can definitely do some more on Brie if you guys would like. She's got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about. I want to do conservative friends. Okay. All right, we can do that another day. We'll definitely check back in with Brie. We went through all of these comments already, and you guys have been great today. I really do appreciate you. I am not happy about any of the stuff that's going on right now. If you guys missed it, let's run it down, guys. We covered birthright citizenship today and the impending Supreme Court vote tomorrow on the executive order that Donald Trump has signed against birthright citizenship and the lies that are being told about why we should have it. So if you guys get a chance to rewind the video and check it out, we talked about people leaving America, and we gave the example of a man who did leave America, as well as the numbers behind it. We showed the graphs and everything, and we got that going. And then finally, we finish up Brie's story on millennial melancholy and why millennials seem to be hopeless in today's society. Hit the like button. Hit the like button for sure. Ray says she must realize that being removed from corporate is a good thing in the long run. But here's the problem, Ray said. She's continually told that she is slacking because she has been removed from corporate structure. So I want you guys to think about that today. And, you know, we're not going to do a random video of the day. I do got some more stuff coming for you guys. I did earlier I did the mid-roll, which is the housekeeping that we love to call it, about who to subscribe to. You guys are already here. And one that we definitely can't leave out is our friends and family over at the Ben Podcast. Thank you guys for showing up. Let's get this out of here. Let's move this. Thank you guys for showing up. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the Ben Podcast. They are on another milestone. I am pushing towards 500 subscribers, and I'm getting very close. I'm getting very close to that 500 subscriber mark. And then after 500, we're going to push towards 1,000 for full monetization. And that helps me continue to make content for you guys at the clip that I make it at, because this is all, it does get to be kind of expensive when you actually buy the stuff that you need to make your stream good. There wasn't a lot of drops today because this was just some serious stuff, and I wasn't going to ruin it with a whole bunch of stuff, but
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I mean, what do you mean? What am I talking
about? Enough about me. Let's talk about me. What do you think of me?
I appreciate it. And I gave you guys some little bit. We'll get some more tomorrow. I'll see you guys. I am Tez from the TezDown. I think some call me 24. I'll see you in another 24.
I'm the Tez. Find the Tez.
Welcome to the TezDown. Welcome.
Find the Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the TezDown. Party time.